Let's see if anybody's awake. It's late. I've been on and off the phone. Let's see if anybody's awake. Maybe not. Got to give about 30 to 45 seconds or even a minute for YouTube to notify everybody. Well, hello, Humberto. I was wondering if you was awake. It's probably what, 5:30 in the morning there? Hello, Miss Coach Kimmy. There you are. I just caught you. Are you getting ready to go to bed? Are you getting ready to go to bed? 12:33. Well, I'm not going to be on here long. I just kind of wanted to touch base. And I was listening to you and Phil on my way home. That's why I'm going live. What you guys think? Don't lie to me either. Tell me your honest opinion. Oh, wonderful. Oh, yes, gal's tired. Well, I don't get to see the comments, and I didn't watch them other than what Phil put on the screen. So I don't know everything that was said, but Humberto said that everything was pretty positive, long overdue. Well, thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate that. Um, but yeah, I thought it went okay. I was pretty nervous there in the beginning because that's just something I wasn't doing. Phil didn't notice the. I know, and he probably would have if I could have lit it up. But we tried to light it up, and it just turns into a great big glow ball. I gave you Merida. Yeah, I was like, he needs to learn how to speak Spanish. That was funny. Yeah, I was kind of, I don't know if it was long overdue, but thank you, Kimberly. I thought it was great. I'm just thankful that he had me on. I mean, it was different. I've never really told my story, other than on a video, and it's probably just been pieces here and there. You know what I mean? Yeah, he needs to learn to speak Spanish. I didn't write the correct spelling because it can be blocked by YouTube. Uh-oh. Ha ha. Oh, well, I don't know. I didn't know that. Glad you got to tell your story. I am too. I am too. And it was fun. And I'm comfortable with Phil. I think my nervousness was the first time. And also, you know, he has a pretty big audience. You know what I mean? And so I was kind of concerned about that. And I was also afraid that the haters would come and hate on him. And I didn't want that because he doesn't deserve that. Merida is a city in Colombia. Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to tell him that next time. But I like telling him that you need to learn how to speak Spanish better. He is, Kimberly. He's such a really good guy. And, you just know that. You know what I mean when you watch one of their videos? When you watch videos of YouTubers, and I'm starting to get to know some of the other YouTubers out there, the other detailing YouTubers now. Um, and, but Carlos and Chelsea and Phil Miranda will always be a part of my list of channels. But when you watch his channels, and it's been this way since day one, you can just tell. You never met him or anything like that, but you can just tell he's just such a genuine good guy. You know what I mean? Without coming across as, yeah, yes. Everyone knows I speak Spanish besides English and Portuguese and rusty French. I know that, but it's still more fun to tell them you need to learn how to speak Spanish. That was funny, though. I was like, he's just trying to be an antagonist. We'll just ignore him. But it was, I mean, once everything, and then my daughters, I was so glad to see my daughters there. That was so fun. And their questions are the ones that popped up. Yeah, he's just a good guy. And I think I was just nervous about the haters coming and, you know, leaving him hate. And I didn't, he doesn't deserve that. And I think he went out on a limb having me on, to be honest with you. You know, I'm not exactly everybody's cup of tea, most people's cup of tea. I get that. And that's okay. Yeah, and I'm glad they did. Um, you know, it was of course when I saw him put those comments up, I'm like, ah, you know, because at first I couldn't hardly see him, but I thought, I know that name. You know, so I'm just glad that they were there. And I'm glad Carlos stuck around, him and his ADHD butt. And I kept it as friendly and cuss free as possible because, you know, Phil is such a good guy. Um, but it was so fun. I did enjoy it. I just kind of wanted to see what everybody thought. Sometimes you need coffee instead of tea. Yes, Phil listens and watches your videos, and possibly he communicated with Carlos. Possibly. He does watch the videos, and I know that. He doesn't say anything, and he doesn't have to. I know he's there in the background, and that's the way he wants it, and I'm good with that. But, you know, if I have a question, I don't ever have to worry about, you know, bothering him. He'll answer. He'll answer my questions. And I think that's what I like about Phil. This man has almost 60,000 subscribers. And there's some people with 100,000 subscribers that wouldn't take the time to interact like he does. And there's never been a question um, that he hasn't answered. And I don't ask them all the time, but I do ask questions. And, you know, I mean, and it was early on. You know, it's really what I'm talking about. It's kind of the same as Carlos. Um, you know, I would ask him questions all the time too. But Carlos, now I just call him. But, you know, at first I would ask him a question on his YouTube and he would have no problem answering. And then somebody else would ask a question and, you know, you just learn who the good guys are. And, you know, I need to do better about interacting with my subscribers. I just get so busy. I get notified, and then I click the heart, and then I don't think to go back and respond and say hi, thank you, or answer a question or whatever. So I really need to get better about that. I think people are always watching. I think some are, yeah. Is there a community like this one where business owners interact, or is there a community like this one where business owners, if there is, I don't know about it. I don't know. There's a lot of Facebook groups and stuff like that, but other than that, I don't know. To be honest with you, Kimberly, that's a good question. Miss Eileen, how you doing? Are you staying out of trouble? Nice video with the air guns. I like that. The one is great. Yeah. Always trying to. Did you have a good, well, that's not the, yeah, did you have a good weekend? I have to think about that. Did you get to see the podcast, Eileen? I have seen people writing smack on the comments on his videos, and even though he explains and is careful on what he is saying, people come as jerks. They do. They do, and I have seen that. On Phil Miranda's podcast, I was on there tonight. I didn't know if you had even seen it. Phil Miranda is who he's talking about. But yeah, and Carlos is the same way. He has a way of just kind of diffusing, but I'll check it out. Okay. Yeah, there's just a way of they both have a way of just diffusing the trolls, if that makes any sense. He is the handsomest guy. Okay, I'm pooped. And another long week. Proud of you, old gal. Be safe out there. Night all. Good night, Coach Kimmy. Have a good one. Hello, Mr. John. I have written on them replying what he said. Yeah, it's I wish I sometimes wish I had that kind of demeanor. And I know I could probably have that if I really applied myself, but at the same time, I know I'm not witty. I did see it. I was on the phone a little bit ago before I went live, and I stepped outside to let Bella out, and saw the moon. And my daughter, she sent a little video. That's the only reason I knew about it. She sent a little video from my grandson's telescope. Hello, Miss Mary. Hello, Grandma. You did great tonight. I was listening, was busy starting at that detail. Oh, how'd that detail go? How did it go? Everything go good? You were in a heated area. But yeah, if you haven't seen the podcast, go over there. He deserves the views. Just check it out. Hear me out. Hear my story. I missed that live. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. I hope you do, John. But yeah, it was a good time after I got through the nervous. Carlos knew I was kind of stressed about it. I even asked Phil if I could do a test run. And the reason why is because Carlos freaked me out. No, she got a detail inside somebody's heated garage. She's moving on up. It didn't get in till 4. It's work truck being sold. Got it. How did you do overall, do you think? I think I did okay. I've gotten good feedback. Kim was pleased with it. Humberto's pleased with it. Oh, heated garage. Nice, Mary. I know. But I think I did okay. I probably rambled too much, but John, that's my biggest downfall. Just saying. But Carlos panicked me. Comfy 62, air and hot water. Oh my gosh. I'm sure you did amazing. Well, I hope so. Now, it's my first real podcast. The only other thing I'd been on was Jay's little thing on Instagram. Other than that, I hadn't been over. I glanced over and saw it, but I was working as I'm working now, but I'll be definitely listening on the side. I appreciate it, John. Just let me know what you think. I would love, or at least put a comment on there, because I will go check it. Moon here is exactly like a 12 p.m. sun, right up and bright. Yeah, it's pretty bright out there. Yep. Yapping is not a downfall. Around quiet ones like me, it's much appreciated. I never thought about it like that, Eileen. That's probably a good point. Mary's pretty quiet too. But I asked Humberto, because he sent me a message. He said, you did good, but you was nervous. Yes, I know. But it's like I told him, I was just afraid that the haters were going to come in and leave him hate. And he doesn't deserve that. He deserves all the best. Wait till you see me in person. Do you get chatty Kathy when we meet you in person? Oh, yeah. But anyway, yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed it. And I was very nice. It was very nice to be able to tell my story. Um, Somebody gave me a chance to speak. And that was, I think, if nothing else, that was admirable because, I don't have the best reputation. And I think a lot of it is misunderstanding. And him and I did talk about that behind the scenes, that I I think there's a lot more misunderstanding than we realize. Because if for those of you who have taken time to get to know me, yes, I do have that rough side. But I'm not so bad, I promise. Oh yeah, being on a podcast, you don't want dead air, so it's good to be chatty. I never thought about it that way. I guess you would know, and he did a really good job. He didn't know when I was going to shut up, and he picked up pretty quick, when I quit, because I would catch myself kind of rambling, but he still was able to get off there in just over an hour. So we didn't do too bad because he wanted to do an hour. But I'll tell you what, Humberto and Mary and everybody that did catch it, he's going to have um, Vic on there from Suds Lab. I can't wait for that. Um, was there 60 people? See, I kept it down. And you can't see the count. He could, but I couldn't see the count. But I kept the chat off so that I didn't get distracted because I was afraid that I would look really dumb. You know what I mean? You just don't know what I'll do. I'll check it out after this. Mary isn't a boring person. Okay. She did really good, Eileen. I really enjoyed it. That's awesome. Not like Aaron talking about comic books and toys on our podcast. Well, that's my next goal. And maybe Matt's podcast and maybe Detail Grind one of these days when I match up to those two, Alex and JB. That's awesome. Not like, okay, I read that just to make sure I got it. But anyway, it was good. It was fun. I just wanted to see what you guys thought. Just comment your thoughts over on that one. I'll catch it. I want to make sure he gets the views and gets the comments, the interaction. Aaron makes it also entertaining. Oh yeah. I think I'd have a blast with Aaron. And you. Even though you just kind of sit there like, And me, I kept doing this. I kept leaning up. I worked so damn hard and stressed so hard during our test run to make sure I got myself centered in there. And then I was leaning over. Not the lean. The lean. The lean. And so I'm like, what was I doing? How dumb are you, dummy? Stop that. Anyway, yeah, it was fun. And my daughters came in, so that was fun. And two of their questions, both of them had a question. But one was actually a funny story about my daughter, Tori. But yeah, it was fun. And I think I'd have a blast with Aaron. And Humberto would be there, and I'd have to tell him the same thing I said about Humberto tonight. He needs to learn how to speak Spanish. It was crazy. So anyway, I had a good time. Once the nervousness wore off, it was okay. I'm just glad that I got a platform to tell my story. That made me feel, even though it was only to whatever you guys said, 60 people, it was still a validating feeling to be able to tell my story because so many people have not taken the time to hear. I was working when I was on the live stream, since many times I was at the hospital with my friend and his family. When I was on oh yeah. Oh, thank you, Conway, and thank you for your comment. I appreciate it. I was I was trying so hard to read those little because I kept the comments away from me. I didn't want to get distracted. But then when the comment would come up, the one that he can put on the screen, I couldn't tell. I'm like, who is that? And of course, I look ridiculous putting my nose up to the camera, but I couldn't read it. How you been? It's great because people can see you and not the story they hear around the rumor mill. That exactly. And I think that's what made me feel validated is of all people, Phil Miranda gave Chris a platform to at least talk to my people, or some people. And then Tori and Elizabeth were having fun too. Were they really? I'm glad. I'm glad. Did they know who everybody was? I'm hoping they remembered. It was a good time. So if you haven't seen it, I hope that you will at least go give it a view. Um, for him anyway, help build his podcast up, and I think he's getting more and more emails. I think he's going to have to bump it up to once a week instead of once every 2 weeks. At least they knew me and Carlos. Definitely also Kimberly. Yeah. Well, they probably knew some of you from the chats that we've had or the lives that we've had. And John and Eileen. Okay. Yeah. It was fun. I enjoyed it. And I kept within the No, it was tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, so it would have been 6 p.m., 4 p.m. your time. It would have been 4 p.m. your time. You were probably working. And then after that, Carlos called me and I was on the phone with other people and I'm like, oh, right, after Christie's. Right before Christie's. Um, Carlos said Christy did come into the chat. I didn't see her, but Carlos said that she was in the chat for a minute. And then she had to go to do her live. So it was just before that. 4 p.m. my time. Yeah, I was on a detail. I figured you probably were. Being 4 p.m., that's probably right around the time you're still into stuff at work. Okay, yeah, Carlos said that she was there. And then he said his cousins. He calls my daughters his cousins. And all it's because we're all kind of like family and all that good stuff. But anyway, it was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was great. I'm late to the YouTube world, and I'm trying to start a channel. Still trying to come up with a name for it. It's not just detailing, but has detailing. Well, what else will there be? So I can appreciate your story. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, my channel didn't start as a detailing channel. A lot of people don't realize that. They don't really know I'm into succulents and sedums, and that's what I put on the channel. I've since moved those things off of there. But yeah, I did all my succulents. I did little videos of succulents and sedums and stuff on there. I'm an automotive master tech that works on custom cars, restorations, repair, and paint work and detailing. Oh, well, then you would want to do something. Are you in business for yourself? Are you in business for yourself? If you are, well, even if you're not, come up with a name. I mean, for example, if you were in your own business, come up with a name, and it would be auto restoration or custom cars, Conway's Custom Cars. There you go. I mean, you don't have to, don't complicate it. I mean, look at, like, mine, Detail Grandma. Just simple stuff, you know? And plus, I'm an old dude. That's okay. Yeah, there you go. Restorations by Conway. There you go. You doesn't have to be detailing. If it's not just about detailing, look at the picture as a whole. If you're restoring vehicles, heck yeah. Put all of that stuff together and just kind of, yeah, we do. We love them old dudes. You know, I'll tell you what, we've had a little bit of a boom lately of older people coming into YouTube. So embrace it. Um, I was kind of embarrassed at first. And then I went through all that crazy drama. And I didn't talk about that on the podcast because I really didn't want it to go down that dark road. Um, and we didn't talk about some of the other crazy stuff. But, and I like that we didn't have to do that. Um, but, you know, as I was, you know, you just got to put yourself out there. And as I went through that shift, I changed the name and I came out, I guess you could say I came out swinging because I did. I came out with a video and blasted the crap out of people while I was washing my car. They got to watch me wash my own car and blasting. I don't remember ever signing a written contract with you for my business. And I mean, I laid into people. And the rest is history. The rest is history. I love to grow with things of the times. It's a good one. Yeah, Eileen's channel is awesome. I love Eileen. She just has that cool, calm, and collected persona. You know what I mean? But you can tell she's like a little reserved. You know, she's probably freaking out at people like me going, oh, damn, I can't handle her. I think Mary thinks the same thing of me. And Kimberly, too, probably. Oh, well, thank you, Conway. I appreciate it. I'm glad to see you hanging out a little bit. It's good to see you. And it's nice to meet you. I don't think I've ever seen your name around much. And so it's good to have you. How about Mastering with Conway? There you go. But yeah, I had a good time. I just kind of wanted to see what y'all thought. But yeah, head on over there. It's on Phil Miranda's channel. And leave a comment there. I'll check in on it and just to see what they're saying. I don't know about that. You didn't see me dancing around the house last night. Yeah, but we're all a little different when we're at home, Mary. We're all a little crazy when we're at home. Then we walk out the door and we're like, whoop, whole new face. You know what I mean? Anyway, yeah. But I enjoyed the conversation that him and I had leading up to it. He said, I just want you to just kind of go with the flow. And now being on camera didn't bother me. It was his platform and him putting himself, I was more than grateful for that, putting himself out there to allow me on there with so many haters. Some you feel like, you know, you're not going to fit in, and it's okay. There are tons of so many awesome people in the detailing and automotive world. Phil, Eddie, Christy, Jamie, Sal, and Joelle, and the list goes on. I like Sal and Joelle. They're great. But yeah, if my first few channels was Pan, Phil, Carlos, and Chelsea. And I think I talked about that. Didn't I talk about that? Didn't I talk about that? I started looking for specific detailing things, and those channels started popping up. I think I did. I said it somewhere. It's in my brain. Good Dude, Keeve, Josh V, all those guys. Josh V is growing on me. There in the beginning, I couldn't handle him. I'm like, man, that dude's too cocky. There's just something about it. It's kind of like that other dude. The hell's his name? He was on a podcast with Jimbo a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago. I come from the old BBS forums and started with Mike Phillips. I don't know who Mike Phillips is. It's the guy that was on with Obsessed Garage. That guy. I don't like him either. I don't even know why. Just something about him. He just seemed like a jerk. And he's growing on me too because I started, watching. And maybe I just caught something at the wrong time or something. But, yeah. And Gary Dean's channel, I actually had been a part of his channel because he had a lot of tips and tricks in there too on my early days. But now that I'm watching Obsessed Garage and Josh V a little bit more, and actually starting to get to know Jimbo because I never knew Jimbo. I didn't even know the guy existed other than hearing all the bad stuff about him. I'm like, well, I don't want no part of that, And then when I started pulling myself away from some channels and YouTube started pushing these other channels towards me, one of his was what popped up. Darren Priest is awesome. Who's Darren Priest? Is that it? Is that that guy's name? From Obsessed Garage? Yeah, Matt is the kind of guy you either love or not, but he's got good stuff sometimes, but he can be a little dry and stuffy. Okay, which one is Darren and which one is Matt? Yeah, Jimbo is the same way. You either like him or you don't. They have to kind of grow on you. And there's a couple of tiny little detailers that I've been finding. And, a couple of them have a little bit. Matt is Obsessed Garage. Okay. I got to plug you guys in. Hold up. I'm not a fan of Jimbo, but sometimes his content is hit or miss. I like Matt Mormon from Obsessed Garage, although he seems too tough when he says things, but it's a matter of listening. Yeah, and I think that's what happened. I think that's what happened. Now, there's been a couple of Jimbo's podcasts I'm not the biggest fan of. What's that guy? June Jones was on there. And I like that guy. He's dealership. And when he went into dealership and became a dealer, he started to understand. And he's the same thought as me. Dealership detailing and the dislike from the detailing industry, unfortunately, it's not a dealership problem. It is a detailer problem. The detailers are the ones with the problem. They don't understand. And this is harsh. And I don't mean to disrespect anybody because it's not my way. But if you do not understand a dealership in business, trying to make a profit, you shouldn't be in business yourself, because then you don't understand you have to make a profit. But if you expect yourself to make a profit and not a dealership, which is the problem, Detailers want to make their profit and then get mad because the dealerships have to make their profits. That's a detailer problem. And as a dealership detailer, it took me a little while to figure that out. I got a lot of hate in the beginning because I was a dealership detailer. What the hell? But anyway, there should be something for everyone. Yeah. And there's enough of us out here. There's enough YouTubers out here, detailing YouTubers, that everybody will find their people. Yeah, no, it was Scrabble. I got a couple of Scrabble games going on. Dealership detailing is a different beast. It's more about the profit, nothing wrong, just a different process and technique. Yes, it is. And nice was that? It was Scrabble. That's my gong show. um, it is different, Eileen. And I was told by a guy on Facebook that he really wanted me to talk about the differences between detailing for a dealership and detailing for a customer, because they are two different beasts, like Eileen said. Darren Priest is auto fetish. That guy's got more attitude than I like. I will not lie. And yes, I will say that to his face. He's got a lot of followers, and I get it, but he's got more attitude than I can handle. I can only handle him for so long. Yeah, with dealers, it's more high volume. It is. It is. And anyway, so making a video like that is almost impossible, because you would literally have to, you can tell them, but they would need a visual. And it's so hard to say, you can't detail two cars at one time. And so you can't say, I got to do a dealership shortcuts over here, and I'm going to do this detail for this customer, and I'm only going to use a couple of shortcuts. But that's because it doesn't really need all the fancy dancy stuff. You know what I mean? I've heard that about Masters. It's either one or the other, but I don't know much about him or his content, but it's what I've heard from others. He's just got a lot of attitude. And he reminds me of, and here's another one, and I'll say it to his face, but he's probably one of the most, excuse my mouth, cover your ears, but this is my live, and we're after 10 o'clock on my end. Scott with Dallas Paint Correction is the most crooked son of a bitch on the face of the planet. He's the worst person in detailing that there is. He's just a POS. And I will say that to his face. What he did to Carlos. Anyway. But this other guy, he seems to maybe he possesses the same kind of attitude. And it's really hard. It's hard for me, because here I am trying my best to be as kind, and also make sure people know I am rough around the edges. I say things that are probably a little controversial. But these guys just get freaking rude. And it's okay. And it's not right. It's not okay. A lot of issues are ego. Yeah. After hours with Grandma. Yeah, sorry. That guy, he deserves every cuss word I know. And any ones that I can mash up. He's a POS. And I don't mean point of sale. Although he would be great if we could sell him. You know. Anyway. Don't come at my boy. Like that. Or you're going to be an enemy of me for life. It's like I told Carlos. I was a truck driver too long. Somebody ticks me off well enough, I can make them disappear. Let's see, late night with DG. Sorry, guys. You gotta give me credit. I did not say one bad word in English on Phil's podcast. You gotta give me a high five for that. Fist bump. I've known Jimbo for years. He's okay. He just seems a little bit rough around the edges because that's just the way he is. Yeah. And you know, I think that's why with Josh V. And even Obsessed Garage. And that's why I said in English, I'm the same way, John. I am the same way. I am very rough around the edges. I know this. I come from the trucking industry, and when I started driving a truck, women, we were not treated well at all. Thankfully, my generation was able to pave the way for the next generation of women, and they're there. There's a whole bunch of them in there now. A lot of changes were made in the industry thanks to my generation. And so I know that really I'm the same as Jimbo. When you think about it, I'm actually pretty much the same as Darren. There are times I'm just going to tell you. But I would rather, here's the way I look at it. I would rather hurt your feelings if I'm going to hurt your feelings. I would rather do that with the truth than with a lie. And the reason that I would prefer to do it that way, I would prefer not to hurt your feelings at all. But some people just need to be told the truth. That is because I respect you, if I have to do that. I would rather hurt your feelings with the truth than disrespect you and hurt your feelings with a lie. And not to mention, nobody wants to hurt my feelings with a lie because I'd come at you like white on rice. You don't have to tell me, man. I can be very, very rough around the edges. Hell, but once you get to know me, and that's just it. And I always encourage people, take the time to get to know me. I'm not saying I'm perfect, and I'm not. I know this. I've got a whole lifetime of knowing this. I'm just Chris. And sometimes I'm going to do things that are like, you make you cringe, like, oh crap. I don't want to be around all this. I don't want this. And you may perceive it as drama. But it's really not. I mean, I'm just no filter. It is just a trucker thing. Like I said on that one. Pickle Parker. Like I said on Phil's podcast, you know, the trucker, I may leave trucking, but the trucker isn't going to leave me. It's just a matter of listening and understanding where people is coming from. Yeah. And that's all I ask. And I think that's why I'm so grateful to Phil for giving me a place to speak, because that shows that he was willing to get to know me. And he enjoyed the conversation. He said we need to cross into that detailing stuff, or that dealership stuff, a little more next time. So hopefully that. But I respect him for giving me a place. There's a lot of people who wouldn't. You know, it's just a matter. Oh, I read that exactly. Yeah, Mary, that's bad. Pickle bark. Bad. Did I tell you that story of that lady at the hotel? Bella May? That was funny. That was funny. But anyway, yeah, there's a few people I have a hard time with, and sometimes I can watch their videos, sometimes I can't. Josh V, actually, when I started watching a few more videos, I'm like, okay, maybe this guy's not so bad. Maybe he was just having a bad day that video. I know what that's like. Yes, he has also done dealerships too. He's also done a lot of the other work that I've done. My detailing doesn't end with just cleaning an interior or washing the outside. You guys have seen, especially in 2024, my detailing went to a whole new level. There was a whole new level of stuff going on there. That was a huge year for me. In fact, I would say that was a turning point. 2024 in the middle of the year was a huge turning point for me, for my detailing, for my channel. A lot of big things happened. I had my biggest income last year, my biggest outside detail and dealership income brought in. And so I had a really good year. Yeah, I was still broke a few months, like December and November, I was kind of broke. But Josh V, I probably just watched the wrong video at the time. That's where I found Phil Miranda. I needed to do I was wanting to try the clear coat failure fixing it, and I found one on his channel. That's how I found him. And I'm like, oh, okay. But it was still almost 2 years. Yeah, about a year and a half before I even actually did it. But that's because my dad kind of forced the issue. He's like, no, we're going to do this, and I can't reach it, so you have no choice. But I think that was my dad's plan all along, was to push me to do more of that stuff. He knew I was capable of doing it. And I even told him at one time, that's not stuff girls do. That's not stuff girls do. But it was a really good year. I learned so much. And I enjoyed every minute of it. Because I felt like I was now becoming more independent as a person and detailing. I hope that makes sense. More independent as a person in detailing. Yes. That's what I mean. So anyway, well, I'm glad that I thought it went really well. I was pretty proud of myself. I didn't cuss one time in English. And the only reason I did that is because of him. Will be even bigger. I hope so, Eileen. I want to do some things marketing wise here at home. I'm actually thinking of getting on a truck and working like one full week each month for a couple of 3 months. And the reason why is because if I do that, 1 week would cover an entire month of those extra bills that I need to pay. You know what I mean? So if I just did it for one full week, let my dad recover and all of that, and it's usually the first of the month or the end of the month. If I can do one full week, that money would take care of all the month's bills that the office doesn't cover or any other detailing. I can imagine your dad telling you, did you ever wear makeup? This is like makeup. No, he never did tell me that. And he knows I never wore makeup. I don't wear that crap. I'm not a clown. No offense to any of the girls, but I am not a clown. I've never been into that makeup. I think I was in like 7th grade. Something like that. And I had the big hair. It was the 80s, for heaven's sake. And y'all have seen my hair down. Whoosh! And of course you have to have the Aquanet and fluff it up as high as you can get it up here, you know. That was before I got old and lost half of it. No, he did say, I did tell him, I said, it's not for girls. Girls don't do this kind of stuff. And he said, well, look at your daughter. Your daughter works on cars. Your other daughter, she drives a truck. So, oh, need to see the pics. Grandma with the 80s hair. I did pose. I'll have to do that. I'll have to go pull one out. It doesn't have the biggest hair, but it's got a nice, I don't even know if my mom maybe has some. It is crazy. You were born with the natural permanent. I was. Oh my God. And it's all frizzy now. After I shaved my head when Becca got sick, when it grew back, it frizzed. It's kinky curly down here, but the rest of it is frizzy. And I just let it dry like anybody else, and then I comb it out, but it is so frizzy and bleh. When I was a bouncer in a bar, I had to go into the women's wash, and they knew who I was. It was never a problem, but they were choking me out with the huge can of Aquanet. Man, I'm telling you, that was not only a flamethrower. Our heads could have thrown flames. We did. When you did your hair up, you used an entire can. Of course, the stuff only cost $1. But man, when you used that stuff, your hair was whoop, and it didn't move. I mean, I teased it, and I got it looking, I'd poof it and get it up as high as I could, and then I would round it up. Oh my gosh. Well, hello, Mr. Skater. How you doing? Poor John. I believe it, John. I'm telling you, we did. We used it. And I had just the right hair back then. I didn't have to have a perm like the girls did. The girls all had to get perms in their hair. And I didn't have to. Mine was all natural. So when I got out of the shower, I crunched my hair. And it instantly curled up. I have what I consider black people's hair, which is the kinky curly. And I used it to my advantage in the 80s. They would pull up the hairspray or pull the hairspray up from the purse, shake their hair up and down while they were spraying out of the freaking can in the air. Oh, that's pretty bad, Skater. Yeah, not only back then was Aquanet our flamethrower with a lighter, but man, our heads could probably, if you'd have put a lighter to one of our heads, I imagine it would have gone poof. And I'm sure somebody did. Oh, yeah, those were the days. Those were the days. I'll have to see what I got as far as pictures, Eileen. I'm sure my kids, maybe mom has got one. Maybe mom's got one. I don't know what I got. I'll have to look. Let's see what I got. Humberto, yes. With all the smoking happening back then everywhere, I'm surprised I did. I'm sure it did. I'm telling you, it was so popular. You had to have, and that was during my, I want to be a girl days. Okay, so like 7th, 8th grade. And then I met Mike, the kids' dad, and then I just suddenly didn't give a poop anymore. But yeah, we had to have our big hair. Because I met Mike in 87. Yeah, I met Mike in 87. So this would have been 85, 4, 5, and 6, maybe. Maybe 4 and 5, 84 and 5. It was those days. That's when my makeup days were coming in, and I only did it a couple of times after that, and then one was for my daughter's wedding. No, my sister's wedding. I did not wear makeup to my daughter's wedding. Either one of them. What else did I do? Sister's wedding. And that's just because she made me. We always said that there was a rock concert without being in one and just spraying that stuff. And we told them they were getting stoned already. I have a bit of explosive chemicals in a teeny tiny bottle that I made that I haven't made into a powder yet before I make a arson powder. Why would you do that? What would be the point of that? Making an arson powder? Why would you do that? What would you blow up? Okay. If you say so, but it's fun making it. What's the point of it? My nose seems to be getting stopped up. What's that? Oh, I'm not going to use it. Okay. Yeah, you got to be careful with that stuff, dude. There's a guy. Gotta run. Have a good night, Chris and everyone. Good night, Miss Eileen. Have a good night. I'm not going to be here much longer. I told myself an hour, hour and a half maybe, because it's pretty late. But yes, have a good night and a good day tomorrow. What was I saying? Oh, there was a guy, my kids and I were just talking about it the other day because of the New Year's Eve fireworks. There was a guy who was making his own explosives and fireworks in a garage at an apartment complex, and it blew up. Killed him, destroyed all the front apartments there. It was a mess. People were hurt because somebody was being ridiculous. So, just be careful with that stuff, dude. Good night, good night. Anyway, yeah. I just wanted to come on and say hi, guys. Find out what you thought. You think I did okay? I tried my best to be as mature as possible. Holy crap. What's up with that? I am not in the mood to get sick right now. It is 11:30. Oh, you guys all fall out of here? Hell, I got one person in here. What happened? What happened? Did YouTube kick you guys out? Shame on you, YouTube. Playing with those chemicals, you can forget that they are there and can hurt you because of something stupid. Yeah, gotta be careful with that. I'm here, Mary says. I'm telling you, Mary, I am loving that heating blanket. I go to bed. I keep the heat down a lot lower than I like. But, man, when I get in bed, I'm cold. That's why you see me with the jacket on and off, on and off, on and off. But I'm cold, and I crawl there. Man, I just get so cozy so fast. I love that blanket. I tell my mom about it, and she's like, really? I said, yeah, you got to get one. They're the best. I really like it. And it's perfect on setting 2 for me. I am. Thank you so much for that gift. That's a gift. That is a super practical gift. I love it. Love it. I worry about little demon getting into it, but so far she's been okay. She's kind of afraid of it. Oh, hang on. Let's read this. By the way, I watched the podcast. You did great. I got a kick out of listening to that and the stories. That is what my mom sent. That's what my mom sent. I have one too. I set it on 6 and turn it down to 3 for bed. Uh, I'm that is definitely a practical gift, and I'm more than grateful for it. For you not hardly knowing me and sending me that, that was awesome. So just please know how grateful I am. I am loving it. It helps me so much. It helps me to just be cozy. Yep, that's what my mom just sent. That's awesome. What did I just read it? Did you not hear it? Are you not listening to me, Humberto? You're going to hurt my feelings if you're not listening to me. Oh, okay, well, hang on. I'll go get it. No, I can't go get it or it'll mess up the live. She said, by the way, I watched the podcast. It was great. Uh, enjoyed hearing the stories or something like that. Anyway, that was from my mom. That was from my mom. Yeah, that's great. I wish she would have spoke up. That would have been great because then everybody would know. You guys, some of you guys already know who my kids are. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Um, I wanted you to be warm, especially there in Kansas. I am. When I crawl in that bed, I do. You have to go through a ritual, and I have to deal with stuff. Got to run. I'll have some spreadsheet work to do, and then call it a night. Good night, Conway. It's good to see you. I hope you have a wonderful night. I thought she was going to be in it too. No. Actually, I've had a request to do a live with my mom. And, because I did there was some people who wanted me to do a live with my dad. And I didn't do a live with him, but I did do a video with him where we talked about the dealership side of the cars and all of that and where detailing, just trying to mend some of the misunderstanding in between dealerships and detailers. And I did that. It was a video when we were on our way back from auction up in Topeka. But now I'm getting I've had a couple of requests to have a live with my mom on there. And so I guess, be tossing out some ideas of some questions that I should ask her. Because I'm not really sure. The only thing he said is, the one guy, the only thing he said is, I would just like to hear her take on you as the detailer. And I don't know if I need to bring in the dealer side of it or what. I have seen them both on your videos. Yeah, they've been on both videos. Both of them have been in videos. Mom was in a day in the life video. And then my dad's been in a whole bunch. And everybody thinks he's awesome. He's funny. And he can be. He can be. You know, you catch him on the right day when he's not stressed and all that crap. He can be funny. You know, he's got those putting lipstick on a pig. That's his saying. But anyway, guys, it's been an hour I've been on here. I just wanted to kind of pop in, see if anybody was awake. Even though I knew the stories you told, I still laughed. Even though I knew the stories you told, I still laughed. That's what Mom just says. Always see him with you on the repairs. Yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to pop in, see if everybody got a chance to see it, and get your thoughts. You know, I don't know. I kind of felt validated that somebody of his stature would at least give me the time of day, and I am more than grateful for it. But more, what I was really hoping is that my story made sense. That's what I'm really hoping for, is that my story come across. So you guys have a good night. Mary, you too. You have a good night. Humberto, I'll see you along the way somewhere. There's a video Tuesday and Thursday, and then there's not any videos after that for a little bit. Gracias, what the hell is that? Hold up. I got to write this down before I go. I don't even know how to make that apostrophe. Okay, Mary, have a good week. If I don't talk to you, you have a good week. Hopefully you don't get cold. We got cold moving in here. Gracias. Low. Is it low? Means I enjoyed it so much. Okay. De mucho. Okay. Okay. Anyway, yeah. It's freezing here. Warm up and then freezing again. I know, I feel it. Anyway, my daughter wants to do a video on her pickup with all that road salt. Thursday or Friday. So we might have a video coming up next week. We might. I don't know. And I do need to do a rinseless on my pickup. So anyway, thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for coming in. Always great to see you. And love y'all. We'll see y'all later. Peace.